طيب بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Any questions before we proceed? طيب. So inshallah what we will do today is we will start with chapter 7, section 1, discrete probability. In fact, the material that we will be covering from chapter 7 are only two sections, section 1 and section 2. Now, one thing to note about the material in section 1 is that you will notice that you will need all what you learned in 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. Specifically 6.1 to 6.2. Okay? In case we go well with the material and I see that we have time for an additional quiz so that we can remove 2 instead of 1. We take 7 quizzes and remove 2 instead of 1. If we do that, and if I tell you, well, it's going to cover 6.4 or 7.1, let's say 7.2. If we do that, then by default, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. Okay, and you will see it today, inshallah, and we will see it there. Okay, so you will not be able to answer the questions in 7.1 if you are weak in counting, in chapters. Okay, so let's start with the definition, few definitions. We'll talk about discrete probability. So let's look at few definitions, and then let's try to apply these definitions on an example. Okay. So the definitions are as follows. An experiment is a procedure that yields one of a given set of possible outcomes. So any procedure that yields one of a given set of possible outcomes, this is called an experiment. Okay? Right. Now, the sample space of the experiment is the set containing all possible outcomes. Is the set containing all possible outcomes. طيب. An event in the experiment, is a subset of the sample space. An event is a subset of the sample space. So let's try to apply these 3 definitions. Let's try to apply them on the following example, on the following question. So it says here, relate the above definitions to throwing a die once and getting a 4. طبعا ايش هي الداي؟ هذه الزهر او النرد هيها اوكي and ايش what's the plural of die? Dice. Okay, dice. طيب. So relate these definitions to throwing a die once and getting a 4. So let's see. Now, what is the experiment in this case? Throwing the dice. صح? So basically throwing the die. This is the experiment. طيب. Meaning only, what is the sample space? Yes.
The numbers from 1 to 6.
The numbers from the set containing the numbers from 1 to 6. So S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. طيب. And what is the event?
Getting 1, getting 4.
The set containing 4. مش احنا قلنا انه الevent is a subset of the sample space. How do we represent a subset of the sample space? Well, we'll basically say E is equal to 4. طيب. So now we are ready to define what we mean by probability. How, in this case, discrete probability. So if S is a finite sample space of equally likely outcomes, what does it mean equally likely outcomes? Huh?
Independent.
لا 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 equally likely outcomes ما لها علاقة independent. Equally likely outcomes, well, until now we have not defined what we mean by probability, but let's say that equally likely outcomes mean if you repeat this experiment a big number of times, then the number of outcomes for each possible outcome is going to be the same. Okay? It's going to be the same. So that's what we mean by equally likely. So if S is a finite sample space of equally likely outcomes, and E is an event, that is a subset of S, E is a subset of S, what is the probability of E? We define the probability of E to be the cardinality of E divided by the cardinality of S. The cardinality of E divided by the cardinality of S. So therefore, when I give you any question asking you what is the probability of this event, what do you need to do? Well, first of all, you need to identify the sample space. Once you identify the sample space, you need to find what is the cardinality of the sample space, identify the event, what is the cardinality of the event, and then divide the cardinality of E divided by the cardinality of S. That's it. Okay? So let's try to apply this on the following questions. Right. An urn contains 4 blue balls and 5 red balls. Who can tell us what does an urn mean? زي جرة. زي جرة. So an urn contains 4 blue balls and 5 red balls. What is the probability that a ball chosen from the urn is blue? So this is now the question. Right. I need somebody to tell me what is the sample space in this case.
The total number of balls.
The sample space is not the total number. The cardinality is the. I'm talking about the sample. What is the sample space? ايش هو السامبل space? Yes.
Blue or
B و R بس كده.
no.
B1, B2, B3, B4.
يعني في عندنا 4 blue وعندنا 5 red. Yeah, بس the sample space, because you will see now how it's going to affect the probability. We have 4 blue balls and 5 red balls. So this means that my sample space contains B1, B2, B3, B4, and then R1, R2, R3, R4, R5. Now, why am I doing that? Well, I cannot say B, because if I repeat repetition in a set, does it matter? No, repetition does not matter. Right? So I can, somehow mark the blue balls and the red balls.
But
Right.
they are not different.
But what?
They are not different.
They are not there?
Different.
Yes, they are not different. They are the same. But I'm saying that this is the first ball, this is the second, the third, the fourth, the first, second, third, fourth. تمام? This is my sample space. And what is the size of the sample space? What is the cardinality of the sample space? The cardinality of S is equal to 9. Right. Now, who can tell me what is the subset, the event which is the subset of S? What is the event represented by this question? I will ask for by this question. Yes.
B1, B2, B3, B4, B5.
B. في عندنا B5 نحن؟
No, B5.
Okay. So basically E is nothing but B1, B2, B3, B4. Because if you choose any one of those, then you have satisfied what the question wants. Basically, the event of drawing a blue ball. The event of drawing a blue ball. Right. So E is like this. What is the cardinality of E? The cardinality of E4 is, therefore, what is the probability of the event E? Probability is 4/9. Now, if we go back to your case when we said, well, we only have blue balls or red balls, well, I just pick up a blue ball, then in that case, what will be then? The number is 2, event is 1/2 half, which is totally different. So that's why it's not clear. Okay? واضح يا شباب؟ طيب. Let's now go to the second question. What is the probability that when 2 dice are rolled, the sum of the numbers on the 2 dice is 6 or 7 or 10? Now, first of all, just from intuition, what do you think? Which one is the highest probability of these sums? 6. طيب. What is the lowest? 7. مين بيقول 7 كمان؟ 10. مين بيقول 10؟ Okay, so يعني between 6 and 10. صح؟ طيب. هلا راح نشوف. Now we'll see what the probabilities are. طيب. So before doing that, I need somebody to tell me what is the sample space in this case. The sample space of this experiment. Throwing 2 dice. Yes.
36?
36 is the cardinality, sir.
Yes.
So what is the sample space?
R11, R12, or roll 11, R12, roll 13.
So basically, what he is suggesting is that I can write the sample space as, 1, as an ordered page like this, صح? 1, 2, all the way up to 1, 6, and then 2, 1, 2, 2, all the way up to 2, 6, and then I will go all the way up to 6, 1, 6, 2, and then 6, 6. Now, obviously, what is the size of the sample space? The size of the sample space is 36. Right. Somebody might ask the following question. Does it make sense to have, 1, 6 or 6, 1? If you throw a die, خلاص, you will get 1, 6. One of them is 1, the other one is 6. Why are we labeling the die, the dice? Like, this is the first die, this is the second die, and doing that. Can anybody give me a good reason?
Because there are 2 different dice. So, but we're listing them in the table, so the order is important.
But that's my question is why the order is important? خلاص 1 6 هي نفسها 6.
They are 2 independent dice.
أيوة يعني approximately.
Because there are 2 different possibilities.
2 different outcomes, right?
Yes.
There are 2 different outcomes. You cannot consider them as one, whether it is 1 or 6. No. To get 1 and 6, there are 2 ways to get 1 and 6. The first die is 1, the second one is 6. Or the second way is the first die is 6, the second die is 1. Right? Like, in order to appreciate that this is important, I need somebody to tell me how many outcomes are there that have 3 with 3?
No one.
في غير واحد 3 3. Do we write 3 3, 3 3? It's 3 3, it's 1. Right? So not all throws are equal. In 1 6, there are 2 outcomes corresponding to 1 6. But there is exactly 1 outcome corresponding to 3 3. So that's why we have the 36. واضح يا شباب? Okay? طيب. يلا. So we identified S, we identified the cardinality of S. Now I need somebody to identify E, the event, when the sum of the 2 die here, 2 dice is 6. What is E?
1 5
1 5. لا خلينا نمشي so that we don't miss any outcome. if we start with 1 5 2 4 صح؟ 2 4 طيب 3 3 4 2 5 1 صح؟ 5 1. And what is the cardinality of E? So therefore, what is the probability of E? 5 over 36. واضح يا شباب؟ طيب, who's gonna tell us what is the event corresponding to getting a sum of 7? Go ahead. 1 6 2 5 3 4 4 3 5 2 6 1. Wow. What is the cardinality of E? The cardinality of E is 6, and therefore the probability of E is how much? So which one is bigger? To get the sum of 6, probability of getting the sum of 6 or the probability of getting the sum of 7? Well, it's 7. And now, obviously, you can see why. Because here, I had 3 3, 3 3 corresponds to one outcome بس. لكن هنا إيش عندي؟ 1 6 6 1, 2 5 5 2, 3 4 4 3. I have one more outcome. Okay? That's why it is important to get the whole 36. طيب. Okay, so now مين يقول لي 10 4 6 يعني ما في 1 9 ما في 1 9 we don't have 9 we don't have 8 we don't have 7 صح the highest is 6 and to get 10 the least or the most is basically 4 plus 6 so 4 6 أيوة 3 7 5 5 6 4 and the cardinality of E in this case is equal to 3 and therefore probability of E is what? Is 3 over 36. Probability of E is 3 over 36. So you were kind of right when you guessed that the least probability is basically probability of getting a 10.
The most probability is 7.
Is 7, yeah. If you try maybe 8, I think you will get what? 2 6, 3 5, 4 4, 5 3, 6 2. So you will go back to 5 over 36, and then you will go down. So you're right. So لا قدر الله, if you went to Las Vegas and played, this thing, try to bet on 7. والعياذ بالله.
Why 5 5 it's not 2? We got it 2 times. Maybe the first one get 5, the second one 5.
How we are different?
The first one get 5, or when I first one get 5, or the second.
Is there a difference? P5 see أكتب هنا 5 5 5 5. Here, when we wrote the sample space, did we write 5 5 5 5 twice? We wrote only one. Okay. Fine. Okay. So let's teach you some gambling. قمار ميسر. In a lottery, players win a large prize when they pick 4 digits that match in the correct order 4 digits selected by a random mechanical process. So, you have seen, there might be some of those machines in which you have some rotors that have the digits, and then it has a handle, and you basically press the handle, and these move, and then they will land on a certain digit, right? But in this case here, you have 4, okay? Right. So when do you win the large prize? If you get exactly the same digits in the same order. If you get the same digits in the same order, you will win the large prize. Right. When do you win the smaller prize? A smaller prize is won if only 3 digits are matched. So if you have 3 digits that have been matched and in the order they are in, like for example, the first, the second, and the fourth method, okay? They are exactly the same, then you will win the smaller prize, okay? Then you will win the smaller prize. So the question is, what is the probability that a player wins the large prize? What is the probability that a player wins the small prize? Now, regardless whether you win the large prize or the smaller prize, the sample space is the same, right? So who's going to describe to us what is the sample space? Yes.
0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, or 0, 0, 0, 1.
So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 3, and then 1, 0, all the way up to 9999.
10 to the power.
10 to the power 4. Okay? So this is one way. Another way of finding that is if you know that the first digit, how many possibilities for the first digits that we have? 10. Multiplied by, what about the second one?
10.
Multiplied by?
10.
Multiplied by?
10.
So basically we have 10 to the power 4. So the size of my sample space is 10 to the power 4, which is 10,000. Okay? That's the size of my sample space. Fine. Now, what is the size of, what is basically E large? The event of E large. Who can describe to me what are the outcomes that correspond to E large?
4 zeros, 4 1, 4 2.
4 zeros, 4 ones, 4 twos. ايش علاقة 4 zeros, 4 ones, 4 twos في
event.
لا
40 out of
40?
yes.
Why 40?
Because you got 0, 0, and then one, all zeros, that's 4, and then all ones, that's another 4. And you continue for 10 times.
ليش تكتبوا على طريقة؟
Well, can you read the question? In a lottery, players win a large prize when they pick 4 digits that match in the correct order, 4 digits selected by a random mechanical process. So in this case, what is E?
Should be 1.
It should be the number chosen by the mechanical device. The number chosen by the mechanical device. And how many numbers are chosen by the mechanical device?
Not only one.
What? You can think of it another way. If you look at the 4 digits, the first one should be exactly the same as the one chosen by the device. Fine. How many ways are there to choose that one? 1 multiplied by the second one. 1 multiplied by 1. It's 1. Okay. So E large is the same, the number corresponding to the one chosen by the mechanical device.
يعني random guess دكتور.
The one that is chosen by the mechanical device, it's not a random guess. The thing that is chosen by the mechanical device, that's the one that you need to match in order to get the large prize.
So
بس
also
أنا أسوي random guess 4 digit بعدين digitهم صح.
ليش random guess? Random guess, what you're saying may be right. People, they will guess that number, صح?
أيوه.
But then after you draw the number, you use the mechanical device what will happen?
1,
You have only one, صح?
1, 10.
You have only one. So the size of E large in this case is equal to 1, and therefore the probability of E large ايش بيساوي 1 over 10 to the power 4.
What's the probability of guessing the number correctly?
No, it will be
Yes.
1 and 10.
The number, the 4 digits.
Yeah, 1 and 10.
ايش 1
10 numbers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. So the guessing the number that will choose the selected number is 1 and 10.
1 in 10 for 1 digit.
Yeah. So it must be
So
the
that
same digit in the 4.
yeah,
So
that's why it is 1 over 10 to the power 4. But he's asking, what if instead of having a mechanical device, if you choose any number between 1 and 10,000, between 0 and 9999.
Oh, okay.
It's the same. Okay, it's the same. طيب. So this is for the first part. Now the second part, E small. Now for the small, who can describe to me what is the event E small? What is the event E small? Yes.
0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0.
No, now you're okay. So you're listing all of it, صح? Which is well, you're not listing all of it. يعني when you said 0001, 0002, as if you are assuming that the number that was chosen is 0000, صح ولا لا? But that's not correct.
Yeah, but I mean it's the
No, give me. I need a general answer.
10.
ايش ده؟
انه الاول ما ينحسب فيكون عندنا
Yes, 10.
بس فاذا كان نص الرد
طيب 10. Okay.
1 over you want the size of the
I want describe to me what is E.
10 to the power 4 minus 10 to the power 3.
power of
This is a number. You're giving me a number, and I'm asking to you, what is the event? What are the outcomes in E small? What do they look like?
True, false.
أيوة. That's what I was looking for. إيش true, false? You can have a number that matches the first 3 digits, and there is a mismatch in the 4th digit, صح?
Yeah.
طيب, is that the only one? True, false?
No.
ولا?
False.
Okay, so basically then we have like 4 patterns, right? So for E small, we basically have 4 patterns.
The numbers must be in order.
4 patterns. Yes, هذا راح تشوف. 4 patterns of outcomes. ايش هم؟ true, false. True, false, true, false, true, and finally false. Oops. False, true. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, this is a perfect match, mismatch. Or perfect match, mismatch, perfect match. Or perfect match, mismatch, perfect match. Or mismatch and then perfect match. Is there anything else other than these 4 patterns? There isn't, صح? طيب. How many numbers are here? 10.
How many possibilities?
the power 3 multiplied by 3.
ليش 10 to the power 3?
1.
It's not 10.
4
It's not 10 to the power 3. It's not 4. Think يا شباب.
9.
Huh? 9. Why 9? Why not 10?
في واحد بيكون ترو
لأنه if you include 10, one of them will be true يا شباب.
Oh.
احنا we said he has to win the small prize. The small prize this last one here has to be false, or the third one here has to be false, or the second one here has to be false, or this one has to be false. So how many available, how many outcomes are false? In this case, it is 9, not 10. And how many are correct? 1. So 1 times 1 times 1 times 9. So this one I have 9. With this one, also I have 9. This one also I have 9. This one also I have 9. So what is the size of E small? حرام عليك 9 to the power 4. ليش 9 to the power 4? It's 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, صح?
Oh,
Using the sum rule.
yes.
Using the product rule and the sum rule, this is equal to 9 basically times 4, صح? Which is 36. Therefore, probability of E small is how much? 36 over 10 to the power 4. 36 over 10 to the power 4. Yes. How did we get the 9? So basically, what do I have here? Basically, I want to have a number which coincides with the one chosen by the machine in 3 positions بس. صح? So how many ways to coincide with the first digit? There is only one way, because you have to pick the right digit, صح? And similarly for the second, similarly for the third. طيب, now let's come to the fourth. In total, we have 10 digits, صح? But one of them is the correct one. So I need to choose the incorrect one. واضح؟ تمام. طيب, so this is one way of solving this question using section 6.1. Can anybody give me how can I solve this using section 6.3 when we talk about permutations and combinations? You know, this is a perfect review for the quiz day after tomorrow. Okay? How can I solve this question, but in terms of permutations and combinations? Yes, go ahead.
10,000 choose 1.
No.
Then, well, you're right. Well, 10,000 choose 1 is what? 10,000 choose 1.
10,000.
Probability.
Yes.
Is it which one?
The second one for the small prize. For the small.
1.
Huh?
P for 1.
What does that mean? P for 1.
We have 4 cases. We choose 1 for 4 cases.
It is like the ones when we had the case of arranging ones.
Okay. So basically.
So false like one.
Exactly. So basically, what I would like to reach here is that this is going to be very similar to choosing. Basically, we first need to choose a position of the digit which is false, صح? And then we need to count how many possibilities that are false. So how many ways are there to choose one position to be false if you have 4 positions?
4 choose 1.
4 choose 1. 4 choose 1 if you want to choose the false one, or 4 choose 3 if you want to choose the position of the 3 true ones.
Gives the same value.
It's the same value. Okay? So basically, E small can be obtained by finding the number of ways to choose the false position from 4 positions, okay, and then multiplied by the number of ways to get a false digit times the number of ways to get correct digit times the number of ways to get correct digit. طبعا correct digit in the like first position, second position, and third position. Number of ways to get the correct digit. That's it. So basically, the size of E small, in this case, is equal to what? What are the number of ways to choose one position, for false, from amongst 4 positions? Well, I have 4, choose 1. And how many ways to choose the false digit, or a false digit? There are 9 ways, صح? How many ways to choose the correct digit? 1 way, second correct digit, 1 way, third correct digit, 1 way. كم بيساوي هذا؟ same صديق. واضح يا شباب؟ Any question? So it's good to see how the same question can be solved differently. Okay, it's good to see how one question could be solved differently, because this will enforce, enforce the learning. طيب. Let's give you another example of haram stuff. There are many lotteries now that award enormous prizes to people who correctly choose a set of 6 numbers out of the first n positive integers. And that n could be between 30 and 60. In this question, it says, what is the probability that a person picks the correct 6 numbers out of 40? So you have the 40 numbers from 1 to 40, and you need to pick 6 numbers. Now, the way you understand the question, those 6 numbers, repetition is allowed or not allowed?
Allowed.
When you are choosing 6 numbers between 1 and 40, does it really imply no? I think it's not allowed, right? It's not allowed. Repetition is not allowed. Okay? Right. So now, let's see. What is my sample space? Who can describe in words? Forget about numbers, forget about anything. I need in words. What is the sample space?
You pick 6 correct numbers out of the 40.
Well, it's all different sets of 6 numbers, صح ولا لا? That are between 1 and 40. All different sets of 6 numbers between 1 and 40. طيب, ordering here is important or not important?
Not important.
It's not important. When you choose 6 numbers, you can choose them in any order, صح? طيب, in this way, how many such sets do we have?
40 choose 6.
40 choose 6. So basically, since the sample space, since S is the different subsets of 6 numbers between 1 and 40, the size of S is nothing but 40, choose 6. Okay, طيب. Now what about E? How many sets in the sample space correspond to the 6 numbers, to the correct 6 numbers? 1. E, there is only one set corresponding to the correct 6 numbers.
6 to 6.
To the say that again.
6 to 6.
Huh?
6 to choose 6.
ايش 6 choose 6? Oh yes, 6 choose 6. 6 choose 6. Oh, it's basically 1, right? It's basically 1. طيب. So the size of E is equal to 1. Therefore, what's the probability of E? 1 divided by 40 choose 6. Okay? So this is when I deal with these numbers as sets. طيب. Let's see if somebody can give me the solution if I use permutations. So let's assume that my sample space consists of all orderings of 6 numbers. What will be the size of the sample space? P46, right? اللي هي 40 times 39 times 38 until times 35, right? Right. In this sample space, how many arrangements are there that correspond to the right solution of the 6 numbers? 6 factorial. So in that case, what will be the probability? 6 factorial divided by in P46, right? Go ahead and check whether it's exactly the same as this one or not. In fact, what is 1 over 40 choose 6? What is this? In the denominator, what do you have? You have 40 factorials, right? And then in the denominator, what do you have? In the denominator, you have 40 factorial. And then in the numerator, what do you have? You have 6 factorial times
36 factorial.
40 minus 6
34.
is 34. 34 factorial. Right? If 34 factorial, when you cancel things out, what do you have? You will have only from 40 until 45, 35. صح؟ وعندك ايش؟ وعندك 6 factorial. So it's exactly the same answer. Okay? Whether you do this or whether you do this or whether you do that. Fine. The last 2 examples that we will take today, is regarding poker. Let me remind you, suits in a deck of 52 cards, how many suits do we have? 4. Right? اللي هم الspades والdiamonds والhearts والclubs. طيب. And how many kinds do we have? We have 13 kinds. ايش هم الkinds؟ اللي هم الtwos, the threes, the fours, up to tens, jacks, queens, kings, aces. صح? So we have 13 kinds. So from each kind, how many cards do we have? From each kind, how many cards do we have? 4. عشان هيك أنا بقول لكم يا شباب, you have to know what is kind, what is two. طيب. Okay. So find the probability that a hand of 5 cards in poker. So we will learn that poker is usually 5 cards. الهاند تبعها 5 cards. So a hand of 5 cards in poker contains 4 cards of one kind. How can I get 4 cards of one kind? Like 4 aces and jack, or 4 jacks and something. Now, first of all, what is my sample space? What is my sample space?
52 choose 5.
52 صح 52 choose 5 right so the sample space S is 52 choose 5 because we are choosing 5 cards from a deck of 52 cards right so this is my sample space oh this is the size of this is actually the cardinality of the sample space now what is the cardinality of this event well the cardinality of this event is going to be equal to now let's see you need a hand of 5 cards containing 4 cards of one kind. طيب, how many ways are there to choose one kind from the deck of cards?
Say 5.
لا. How many?
4.
So 13.
13. We have 13 kinds, صح? Since we have 13 kinds, طيب, how many ways to choose from the 13 kinds? How many ways to choose one kind?
4.
كيف عندك يكون 13 kinds وبعدين بالاخر 4 how to choose?
No, 1.
1 يعني 13 choose 1 صح?
Yeah.
13 choose 1. So this is the number of ways to choose. This is choosing the kind صح? Choosing the kind. طيب, after you chose the kind, how many ways are there to choose 4 of that kind?
4.
1 اللي هي 4 choose 4.
Oh.
لأنه from the kind you have how many?
4
You have 4 صح?
Yeah.
So 4 choose 4. This is 4 cards from the same kind. طيب, are we done? We are left with the 5th card. Where can we choose the 5th card from?
12.
51? 52 minus the one we
52 minus 4, which is
Oh.
48. صح? So this one is from 48. We are going to choose. We are going to choose one card, and therefore, what is the probability of E?
15.
So this is the 5th card. صح? This is the 5th card. So probability of E is 13 choose 1 multiplied by 4 choose 4 multiplied by 48 choose 1 divided by 52 choose 5. طيب. Now let's go to the second one. What is the probability that a poker hand contains a full house? That is 3 of one kind, 2 of another kind. طيب. Now let me ask you. Now I need to choose how many kinds? 2 kinds. Does the order matter between the 2 kinds?
No.
I say yes. And I need somebody to justify. Why is ordering here important between the kinds? I need to differentiate between kind 1 and kind 2.
Because kind 1 has 3.
Because kind 1 has 3 and kind 2 has 2. If you have a hand with the 3 aces and 2 jacks, is it the same as 2 jacks and 3 aces? They are 2 different hands. So ordering here is important. Like, if I had the question saying 2 of one kind and 2 of another kind, is the ordering important?
No.
The ordering is not important. But since one is the 3 and the other is 2, ordering is important. So how can I choose the 2 kinds then? How can I choose these 2 kinds where order is important?
13 choose.
13 choose 2.
No.
13 choose 2, ordering is not important, huh?
B.
P13, شفت لكم this is a very nice review of section 3. P13-2. So the size of E is P13-2. Now what is this P13-2? This is choosing kind 1 and kind 2. Kind 1 هذا for 3 cards وkind 2 اللي هو ايش؟ 2 cards. So ordering is important. طيب. Now after I chose the 2 kinds, now what do I need to choose?
3 and
4 choose 3. So 4 choose 3. These are 3 cards of one kind, صح? This is the number of ways to choose 3 cards of one kind. And the second one is 4 choose 2 اللي هي 2 cards of one kind. So is there anything left? Well, my hand is full now. My hand is full. 3 plus 2 is how much? 5. So I have the 5 cards. So therefore, what is the probability of E in this case? Well, probability of E is P13 2 multiplied by 4 choose 3 multiplied by 4 choose 2 divided by 52 choose 5. Okay, Shabab? 52 choose. So, as you can see, the secret is you really need to solve as many questions. Okay? Right. Now let me give you a preview. Well, I already did that in the beginning of what will happen day after tomorrow. So day after tomorrow, we will continue in the beginning that few slides to finish this section, and then we will have an activity for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we will have our quiz. Okay? So an activity will cover, what we did today, and what we will do day after tomorrow, and what we did in section 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. Okay?
الكويز الجاي واحد كويز صح؟
طيب, let me just shut this down.